I was saddened to hear about the tragedy that took place in Pittsburgh when I woke up this past Saturday morning. It is troubling to hear about such a thing take place, knowing you or one of your family members could have been or could end up being a victim. I later found out that two of my friends here at school have or had family that belonged to that very congregation. For those of you who don't know, a man walked into a synagogue this past Saturday morning and opened fire in the midst of a baby naming ceremony. The man killed 8 and injured 3, leaving 11 victims in total. This brings me to the topic I'm here to talk to you about today: anti-Semitism. Just like racism or sexism, anti-Semitism deals with the discrimination toward one specific group of people. The target of such prejudice is, in this case, people who practice Judaism, or Jews. However, and not to take away from either, but unlike racism or sexism, anti-Semitism has yet to receive the attention it deserves. This is a serious problem that has been around for way too long now. Seeing that all of you are well informed and up to date in world policies and current events, you probably understand the concept of anti-Semitism. But, and myself included, it is often hard for people to put their finger on why and or how anti-Semitism started. It is important to look at what makes anti-Semitism and what it is today and consider why more action against it has yet to be taken. Many people probably think that this man is the source of anti-Semitism. However, to say that would be inaccurate. He is merely an activist for discrimination against Jews. He just happened to be the one to bust the floodgates wide open with the successful extermination of over 6 million Jews. These are examples of propaganda used by Nazis to influence thoughts of neutral people. You can clearly see the images of Jews portrayed as jokes. The translations are from left to right. It's his fault, to war, and degenerate music, a statement by the State Council. An article in the Specific Standard published a study done by Nico Voigtlander and Hans Joachim Voth of UCLA and University of Zurich, respectively. The results can be seen here. They asked 5,300 Germans who were adolescents during Nazi use of propaganda the extent to which they agree to certain statements. Such statements were, Jews should have equal rights. The men pictured here are all members of Hitler's Third Reich who escaped Germany before being captured. It is impossible to say that these individuals fleeing Nazi Germany led to anti-Semitism being alive today. All of the information and factors presented about the Holocaust thus far only shows a contribution and proves the worldwide effect it had on the perception of Jews today. As I've shown, the hatred of Jewish people has been a common theme throughout history and remains to be seen today. The Holocaust was not the first time in history that Jews have been the target of prejudice, blame, and hate. It is yet to be seen just why or how the hatred started. One of the first known examples in history of the Jewish people being blamed or hated came when the death of Jesus occurred. This issue related to many other religious issues that the Jews were hated for. However, it was well known that Jesus was Jewish at birth. On top of that, from the 6th to 7th century, Jews were the focal point of hatred and harassment yet again. This time it was for their unwillingness to recognize Muhammad as a prophet because it was against Jewish beliefs. This added to the already problematic issues Jews faced in terms of religion. Then, after the destruction of the Second Synagogue, a symbol of home for the Jews, they were forced to scatter amongst Europe and Asia in search of a new home, which we would find to be a common theme later in history. This was the beginning of many stereotypes you hear today, such as being greedy, having carried disease, and being perceived as practicing witchcraft. Beginning in the 1880s, Jews were the subject of blame when it came to political unrest in pretty much any area they inhabited. This piled onto the already long list of things Jews were hated for and would eventually spill over into World War II. In the early 20th century, the Holocaust happened. Throughout World War II, as the Jews were labeled as inferior humans. The extermination of 6 million Jews is no secret to anyone. But why did this happen? Because of everything that had been pinned on Jews in the past? Because of one man's wrongful and irrational hatred toward the Jewish people? That seems to be the case. The State of Israel was then founded after the war. At first, this was a positive for the Jewish community, the first break in a while. However, this was not the case, as a feud between Israelis and Palestinians garnered more hatred towards Jews. This feud was over the right to land. Even today, The stereotype that Jews are somehow running the world has gained traction. It seems that there has been and always will be a reason that people will find to hate Jews. According to studies published by Kabbalah, 1.09 billion people in the world are considered to have anti-Semitic attitudes. To put that in perspective, there are only 6.5 million Jews living in Israel, right? 1.09 billion people, the ones who have anti-Semitic views, counts for about 14.3% of the world population. Meanwhile, the population of Jews in the world today is listed at just under 0.2%. Studies also show that the rate of anti-Semitic acts is rising, yes, but more importantly, the rate of violent anti-Semitic acts has increased by the thousands since 1997. Recently, these numbers have risen over 300%. This rate will only continue to go up if this issue is not upgraded to a higher priority in the public's eyes. You're about to see the list of names of those who were attacked just this past Saturday. What happened in Pittsburgh is a culmination of hatred and bigotry toward the Jewish people that has been in existence for longer than most people think. It is concerning that even today, Jews everywhere need to worry about being attacked like people like this man. Hopefully there will be no more people like Robert Bowers. Unfortunately, that is not and will not be the case in the near future without proper recognition of the issue. If only there's a serious conversation had about this issue of anti-Semitism, then maybe the problem will finally start to die.